Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unstruggle Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Glenn. I'm so glad you guys are here. Do me a favor, if you haven't done so yet and you like the show so far, please and subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell so you never miss an upload. For those of you watching this on YouTube, I appreciate you all tuning in and watching the video. Thank you all very much for being here. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell on YouTube so you never miss an upload. And today we're going to be diving into one of my favorite idols I have, one of the greatest idols I have at the moment right now, and it's a person I really look up to, and I'd like to talk about David Goggins. Now, you may have heard about David Goggins. He's been interviewed many times. He's written a couple books. He was a Navy SEAL, and he's been through some crazy shit, but I absolutely love his take on everything and his methods. So I'd like to dive into those methods because when we're trying to do something great with our lives, we don't realize that sometimes we have to adjust ourselves. We have to change some things about ourselves, and ultimately we have to become another person in order to reach the success that we desire. So that's exactly what David Goggins does. He talks about numerous times creating a new identity. You know, he was David Goggins. That was the guy that tried for the Navy SEALs multiple times and failed, and ultimately ended up getting in the Navy SEALs because he put in the hard work. You know, he had the drive, he had the motivation, and he did it. And just some of the things that happened to him were just absolutely crazy. But ultimately, whenever we're trying to do something for ourselves, whether it be start a business or, just better our lives, do better at our current jobs or whatever we're doing, sometimes it requires us to step outside of ourselves and become a new person. Sometimes we have to create that new identity with different belief system, with different motivations, with different drive, something that's going to push us that the old self couldn't push us far enough. So, creating a new identity. How do I create a new identity? So what you need to ask yourself ultimately is, what is the goal that I'm trying to achieve? Are you trying to get a promotion in your job? Are you trying to start a new business and be an entrepreneur and do something for yourself? Are you trying to better your marriage? Are you trying to have a deeper relationship with your family? Anything that you could possibly have as a goal requires these steps. So, like I said, step outside of yourself. What is your ultimate goal? Who is the person that can achieve this goal? Can you do it? Because if you're like me, you've failed multiple times in the past because the old you couldn't get it done. So you had to create that new identity. You had to create that new person. You had to create that new personality that could get done what you needed to get done in order to achieve the success that you desired. And I know that's a hard thing to wrap your head around, but it happens. One of the biggest things I talk about is a mindset shift. You have to change your mindset. And this is ultimately what this is. To change your mindset, you have to become another person from the inside out. You have to look at yourself inside your soul and especially inside your mind and make this for yourself. What do I want to achieve? Who do I need to become? And what actions do I need to take to make this a success? And that's exactly what David Goggins has done. And that's what a lot of his books are about. That's his message. In his interview, one of my favorite things he says is, that's David Goggins. But then when he talks about something else, that's Goggins. That's how he does it. Goggins is fearless. Goggins will push to do what needs to be done. Goggins doesn't care what other people think about him. His ultimate responsibility is what he thinks of himself. And that's amazing. So what traits does this person that you need to achieve this goal have? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? How do they overcome weaknesses? How do they overcome obstacles? How does the old you do this? And who do you need to become in order to make sure that you overcome these obstacles? And that's ultimately where the new personality comes into play. For example, let's say you try to get a promotion and you show up on time every day. You do exactly your job. You help those if they need help and things like that, but it's not getting to where you need to, push to where you need to get that promotion. So say you ask yourself, what do I need to do? Okay, let's try showing up a little bit early. Let's try helping the managers out a little bit more. Let's try helping the supervisors. Hey, what can I do to get this shift going quicker? What can I do to help you make this shift go by a little easier? Is there anything extra you need done today? Any tasks that were left from yesterday that need to be done? Something like that. Just that little bit of extra effort that'll give you that little push. Something that the old you could never do. The old you couldn't walk up to a supervisor and ask something like this. It's just that simple. So you create this new identity. I'm going to show up earlier. I'm going to do more. I'm going to put more effort into my job. Not only are you going to show up earlier, but you're not going to leave until that job is done. Even if you had to stay 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour over, you're going to be there until this job is done. So you've got the how you're going to do this down. So you know what you're going to do. Now all you have to do is figure out how you're going to put these actions into play. What are you going to do? You're going to have to get up earlier because you're going to have to be at work earlier. You're going to have to prepare yourself mentally to go into work and give 110% of your effort. You're going to create that new self that's not afraid to push past the boundaries that your old self has set. You're not going to stop and say, well, I've done enough. That's not how this works anymore. The new you has taken over. So what you're going to do is create how the new you is going to go about their day. How am I going to, I'm going to wake up earlier because I got to be at work earlier. What am I going to do to get ready for this day once I wake up? Am I going to do 10 jumping jacks, 20 push-ups, 30 sit-ups, something like that? Do a exercise routine, kind of pump up the energy throughout the day. And that way you have that propulsion to go for the rest of your day. And I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but science has proven that waking up earlier in the morning and then doing some sort of physical exercise to get the energy going will help you maintain a higher level of energy throughout the day. So you're going to have to create some new habits. You're going to have to create a new way of doing things that fits the new self that you're trying to create, if that makes any sense. So what are you going to do? You're going to create a new self. You're going to get you some new habits that are going to increase the new self, and you're going to do more than what your old self could do. You're going to push yourself because your new self doesn't stop where your old self used to. It doesn't work like that anymore. So ultimately, the new you is going to kill the new you, and the new you is going to kill the old you, and then the new you is going to take over your life. So you're going to push yourself further. You're going to do more. You're going to do different things. The old saying goes, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So if you're going to keep doing the same things over and over and over again, you're never going to get the result that you desire. You're never going to get that promotion. You're never going to be able to start that business and keep it profitable to where you can work from home and be your own boss. It's as simple as that. You have to create that new identity that's going to boost you in the right direction. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting where you've always been. So, how do you overcome weaknesses and obstacles? So, let's go back to our example where you're getting up earlier, you're getting to work earlier, you're taking on more tasks. So you're taking on more tasks. Your supervisor gives you, 2 or 3 different tasks a day to take on. And you're thinking, holy shit, what have I done? Because now I don't know what I'm doing. I'm out of my element. So, how are you going to overcome this? Well, you're going to have to adjust the way you do things and how quickly you do things. So to add extra to your plate, of course, that means you're going to have to boost up to get your original job done on top of your extra task. So, number one, you're not going to bite off more than you can chew. If they give you too much, you're going to say, hold on, I could do these today, and then I'll get to these tomorrow. Don't bite off more than you can chew at first, because jumping into it, you don't want to set yourself up for failure. But like we said before, this is the new you. So you're going to have to push yourself. Like I said, you're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. So you do these new tasks and you get your original job done, a couple weeks go by, your supervisor or your manager is going to notice this stuff. Or, your coworkers are going to start noticing this stuff. And then they're going to look at you as a leader. And that's a good thing, because then you're taking on a whole nother role. That new you is going to gain those leadership qualities the leadership qualities where you're going to put in the extra effort, and bust your ass until the job is done. Other people are going to admire that. Some people won't. Some people are going to look at you like you're a kiss ass, but that's okay. That's just the way they see it. That's the way they see it. All you have to worry about is you. That's the whole point in this exercise. So eventually you finally get that promotion. You're a team leader because you put in that extra effort, showing that you are an asset to that company. So you gain that. You finally got it. How did you do it? You overcome the obstacles that you couldn't overcome before. You pushed yourself further than you've ever been able to push yourself before. And you've got a new mentality. So the David Goggins method is creating a new self. And that's why I absolutely love it. It's one of the things that I followed through on my journey as well. I absolutely love it. I love everything about his books. I love his message. I love watching his interviews. They're very empowering. He's a very motivating individual. And it's just one of those things. Some people can do it. Some people can't. But I'd like to add my own little piece of this. When you're creating a new identity, you have to ask yourself, when you look in the mirror, who do you want to see? Who do you see right now? Who do you see right now, and who do you want to see? What are the differences between the two? So one of my tips that I found really helped, and it's mainly, like I said, it's just a tip. It's not something you have to do. But whenever you're trying to transition, one of the things that I found that helps is to make some kind of drastic change to your appearance. Get a haircut, or, grow your hair a little bit longer, style your hair a different way. If you're a man and if you don't have a beard, grow a beard. If you have a beard, try shaving it in a different way. Anything to where when you look in the mirror, you see a new person. You see somebody different, because that's going to boost it. And you're going to be looking in the mirror like, who am I? So then that's when you start filling your head up. Well, I'm this person. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is what I'm going to get from doing these things. So to add to the David Goggins method, yes, I think you should make a drastic change to your appearance, at least temporarily. Women can, they can dye their hair. They can cut their hair a different style. They can style their hair different. Change the way you dress. Buy yourself an outfit that you feel the new you would wear. Something that promotes authority. Something that makes you feel like you're important. And somebody that makes you feel like you're different. So that's all I have for you on this episode. I appreciate you guys so much for listening. For all you people on YouTube, I appreciate you dealing with all my pauses and my hand gestures and all that. But I appreciate you guys so much. If you like this episode, do me a favor, share this on your social media. You can tag me on Instagram at Ryan_Glenn_LC. Tag me on Facebook on my official Facebook page at Abundant Life in Mind. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And once again, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any support for the podcast I can get. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you guys later.